So first of all, hi, Trevor. It's very, very nice to meet you. I'm glad to have you on this call. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, weather here in the UK isn't that great today, but we're getting on with things.
Well, I'm not sure there is too much days that it's good weather, but you're always invited to Israel if you want to enjoy the sun. So Trevor, I've invited you to this call to get to know you a little bit, your company. So I would appreciate if you can share with us a little bit about yourself, your company, and your relationship with Checkpoint.
Yeah, our company is called Optix Software. We're in a vertical market. We supply software for opticians in the UK. So it's a very niche market. We are, as I often say to people, a big fish in a very, very small pond. So it's almost entirely UK based. And we have a high proportion, around about 40% of the UK opticians use our systems to run their business.
Great. And how long have your company worked with Checkpoint?
We first came across Checkpoint, it would be pushing 20 years ago now. We had one of the earlier Nokia boxes that was running the very early Checkpoint software. And then we went through the process of upgrading, moving on to a true Checkpoint product. And then in due course, as we started looking for a security product to use for our customers, when Optix Software was in its very early days and we were launching it, it was a natural progression for us to look towards Checkpoint, where we had a relationship already. At the time, it was Software, which was a small business product. And I guess a lot of people remember those orange boxes from those days with some affection. They were certainly nice and easy to work with, very simple. Probably didn't do a lot with hindsight, but great at the time. And we've stayed with Checkpoint ever since, right through various colors of boxes, blue, white, black, whatever color comes along in the next generation. But continue to look after us, and we continue to stay with Checkpoint.
I'm glad to hear that. So I'll be honest, I wasn't in the era with the orange boxes, but can you share with us a little bit about the changes that happened throughout this period?
Okay, each generation of boxes, as you would expect, improved on the last one, both features and performance. And there's been times where the features have certainly exceeded the ability of the box, and we've seen the performance struggling when all the features were turned on. I think that's general knowledge, and I'm sure the guys at Checkpoint would be the first to acknowledge that. But we address it, we get a new box, it does a lot more, it gives us great performance. And then they start adding more features and responding to what the security market demands. And you see the performance drop a bit, and we get the next generation. And that's good. That's great. That shows that things are developing.
Okay, thanks. I'm glad to hear that. Trevor, can you please describe which customers Optix is serving and what services Optix provides?
So we serve opticians in the UK, as I've already said. It's a niche market. So essentially, there's a small businessman. Our largest individual customer has 200 sites, but each site is an individual site, and each site has an SMB Checkpoint box providing security. So we're providing software as a service, but it's very much peripheral to our main product. The reason people come to us is to have our software system to manage their business as an optician and optometrist. And to a large extent, the security they get by working with us is a secondary benefit of what we do, but they soon realize that it's actually critical to their business and they rely on it completely.
Okay, that's great. What is unique to your customers in terms of security needs?
In truth, I don't think there's anything unique. I'd love to tell you they have some amazingly specialized requirements that Checkpoint have addressed. I think these are just small businessmen running. A typical optician would have maybe 10 to 12 staff and probably 5 to 10 PCs running in there, printers, credit card terminals, some Wi-Fi going on, just what you would expect in any small business, whether it's an office or a retail environment. They're not unique. They need and demand and should have gold standard security. There's no reason why a small business should be given some half-rate security relying on the router that their ISP throws in there. But too many of them are doing that. And what we provide through Checkpoint allows us to distinguish and say, you know what, we do something better.
Totally makes sense. If I would ask you to mention or describe the added value of Checkpoint to your customers, is it, for example, strong security? Is it the relationship? Is it the fast turnaround of issues, easy operation of gateways, or any other thing that you see as Checkpoint's main added value? What would it be?
I think to our customers, you've got to look at it in two levels. What's the advantage to our customers? What do they see? And what do we see as a service provider? From our customers' point of view, they trust us. And if they go away and Google Checkpoint, they find that they are probably the biggest internet security player there is, certainly gold standard, hugely reputable. And that adds kudos to us. So when we are saying we're recommending this product, they go and Google it and find that, we are dealing with a first quality, top quality business. As long as they've got the trust in us and the trust in the product, which they get from checking up on Checkpoint's reputation, that's really as far as they go. They do not want to understand what the box is doing in any detail. They just see it as this magic box that happens to be black at the moment, but it could be a different color next month. And it sits there and it does clever things and it makes them feel safe. And they don't really look at it beyond that. And nor should they. These guys, they're testing eyes. They're selling glasses. That's not, security isn't what they want to know about. They just want to trust that it's being looked after.
I definitely agree that it's a magic box, Trevor. So you have my agreement on that. Another question that I have for you is, which Checkpoint products are you using with your customers in general? What are the main products that you're using?
Our use at the moment is entirely 1590 appliances. We use the Wi-Fi appliance. The vast majority of our customers are getting the Wi-Fi from the Checkpoint box. We do have a number of bigger sites where they've got to have a more sophisticated Wi-Fi solution in place, but that is small. We don't use any of the different lower end products in the 1500 series. And so far, we've not moved to any of the newer 1600 or 1800 series. So we're 1590 across the board.
All right. And are you satisfied with the product? Is there anything that you think is a main advantage compared to other products that you've seen in the past?
We're very satisfied with the product. It's been a big step up from the 750, which we had across the board prior. I think we've still got a handful of 750s out there where we haven't yet upgraded the customer, or we've sent them a new 1590 and they've not yet plugged it in. So no, it's great. On the other side, we're looking towards something that will be a bit faster and allow us to handle the faster lines we're starting to see. We are seeing customers and with 1 gigabit connections more and more now. They're available. Whether they need them is somewhat questionable, but they certainly, when they've got all the security turned on and they do a speed test and find they're only getting 600 or 700 meg, we have a few answers to give them. So it'll be nice when the next gen allow us to say, you know what, there's your full 1 gig with everything turned on and all the security working. But in the real world, they don't need a gigabyte anyway. They just like it because it's a number.
I agree. And as someone who is providing a managed service, can you please share with us what are your expectations from your security provider?
Well, that's when you look at it from the other side. It's, from the customer's side, from my customer's side, they just want to look at, are we supplying a product? Will it do the job? From our point of view, we need to be sure and confident it is doing the job. We need to have a team behind it that are responsive, that help us when we hit problems. Because you will hit problems. Of course you will. You will hit bugs. Nobody produces software that doesn't have a bug in it. So the test of any organization who's selling any software-based product is how they respond when those issues come to light. And obviously in security, when new issues that are nothing to do with a bug in the software, new threats come to light, how quickly are they addressed? And from our point of view, the support we've had from Checkpoint over the years and from the SMB team has been first class. I couldn't praise them enough. And that's why we stay with them. It's really as simple as that. If the support fell apart, then it wouldn't matter if Checkpoint offered to give me the boxes free. I don't want them. They don't worth that to me. We need that support above everything, and we need the quality of service. And that's what we get from Checkpoint. They keep delivering that, and we'll keep spending money with you, I guess.
I'm very glad and proud to hear that. Now, I assume that many managed service providers are watching us right now, and I want to ask a question that I assume will interest most of them. What does it take to install a Quantum Spark appliance? And please share as well that the time that it takes.
This is where we probably do it a little differently from the standard approach. We don't use the zero touch facilities. So our business model again is different. We buy the boxes from Checkpoint. We tend to buy them a pallet load at a time. We have large deliveries and they sit in our warehouse. As we get a customer that we want to sign up, we go and take the box out. We bring it up to date so it's got the latest firmware. We then do some initial configuration, put in the ISP details and test it in-house. So make sure that we've not made a mistake on anything. So we plug it in, do full testing. At that point, we would put it out with UPS, ship it to the customer, and then we would talk them through plugging it in at their side. And obviously, because it's fully tested, we know that if there are any issues, that the issues are not with the appliance because that's been tested. And from a business perspective, we charge a monthly rental fee out for that, which means that obviously we're paying capital up front to buy the box and we rent it over a period of time. It's painful from the first few weeks, months, if you like, because you've paid out for the box and you're getting minimal income. But over a typical 3-year life of the appliance, it is a very lucrative way of doing business.
Great. Can you share what are the day-to-day requests that you get from your customers regarding Checkpoint?
To be honest, they are really routine. You know, they will contact our support desk and say, I need to add a Wi-Fi network, or if, as we recommend, we've locked down their Wi-Fi to restrict it to different MAC addresses. They've just got a new iPad in the store and they want it to be able to join the network. The credit card machine's changed. They need often locking in an IP address. They've got a printer and they've plugged it in onto DHCP, but they want to lock it in so it keeps its IP. So it's really routine stuff they contact our support desk about. They don't contact us about security issues because, you know what, they trust us. The only time I would say we get into security issue concerns is when they potentially would say, they'd call us and say, can you open up our CCTV so it's available on our public IP address? And you have to try and explain to them that actually isn't such a clever move because the CCTV is probably cheap nonsense from China that has virtually no security, and exposing it without any restrictions to an external address is perhaps not the cleverest idea. But this is stuff we all know. And that's where you do have to get into a little bit of security explanation with them. But day-to-day stuff, you know what? It's really routine, mundane stuff that our team just do as routine.
Great. Can you share with us how you are using the SMP to manage your customers? And if you can share even a screenshot of the SMB without us, of course, we will not show the details of the customers.
Yeah, sure. Let me share a screenshot while I look at that. Let's have a look. Hang on a minute. So you can see from that we're pushing up towards 1,000 boxes. Currently 900 are connected. 23 not, which means they're almost certainly en route to the customer. We've put them in there, programmed them, and they're en route to set up. The map's quite fun because that shows us across the UK where everything is, which we can just drill in and see where all our customers sit. So we quite enjoy it. It doesn't really do a lot for us other than reassures you that you've got customers all over the place as we drill in ever further, but there you go. In practical terms, we have a series of plans. They relate to different customers. Some of our key customers get their own plan, but the guys who've just got 1 or 2 sites tend to fall into one of our 2 standard plans. And so if we're adding a new gateway, we would literally just go in there and hit new and then follow the wizard, which is going to bring us up and put in the details, connect to it from our test login here, and it pulls down a policy. It sets up the VPN. This is all defined within the plans. It's really simple, really easy to manage because the central management of the plans just sort of do everything for us.
So to all our new partners, I always say that it's very, very easy to manage. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the management of the SMP?
I'm not going to give it a 10 because it's not perfect, but nothing is. But then if I'd scored it 9 2 years ago, I'd have to give it 10 today because it gets better all the time. You guys work on it. We're constantly seeing improvements, and it has developed. It's got more responsive. It's given us some great stuff around managing rules that have come out over the last 3 or 4 months. It is getting better all the time, but I'm not going to give you a 10 because I'm sure that, well, I know there are things that we'd still like it to do, but it's definitely a 9. But you'll ask me another few years when it's got better, it'll still only be a 9.
So Trevor, you started saying that you never give a 10. So if you never give a 10 and you gave us a 9, I think for me it's a 10. So
yeah,
that's
you go with the 10. No, it's really good. And, as you're well aware, I'm sure you have a separate team manage SMP from the SMB appliance team. They obviously work together closely, but these guys are incredibly responsive. If we have an issue almost in the middle of the night, you can guarantee you'll get an answer really quickly. Very nice people to work with, very helpful, and we enjoy working with them. That's a large part of it.
Thank you very, very much. I'm glad again to hear. I think this is my last question. So Trevor, if you have a message that potential partners and customers that are considering joining Checkpoint are right now listening, what would that message be?
The message would be that if you can make the economics work on Checkpoint, then they're great value. They really are. The service is wonderful. The product is good. It's not the cheapest product on the market, but then quite honestly, the software that we sell to our customers isn't the cheapest on the market. We don't want to be the cheapest. We want to be the best. So if you want the cheapest, you're not going to go with Checkpoint. If you want the best and you want the best service, you're prepared to pay that a little bit more, I don't think you're going to do better.
Trevor, first of all, I'd like to thank you a lot. I think that this was very informative and helpful. And based on the way that you talk about Checkpoint, if one day you'll look for a new challenge in your career, we welcome you to join the SMB team. Trust me that Israel has tons of sun, cool places to go out to, so you're always welcome. Thank you for being a part of Checkpoint. We're really glad of that. Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Cheers, guys.